who I am and where I'm going, right? What's your plan? What's your game plan, right? Set your game plan, find your why. I want y'all to remember this as well. Everybody talk about vision. Vision is a cliche thing to say. A vision without a plan is just a dream, all right? So you got to be able to set your plan to be able to set yourself free. You need to know down to the T what I need to do each and every day to be able to get to my goal, all right? To get to plan. And again, why power turns into willpower. Wake up each and every day and understand your why. Welcome world, welcome family to another episode of the EL2A podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Gilmore Jr. To the right of me, we got the Rocket in the house tonight with the olive green on. Rocket, how you feeling today, brother?
What's up, man? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a green, man.
Yeah, I love it, money green. But hey, man, Cut Different Academy, we'll get right into it, man. Make sure y'all supporting Cut Different Academy, man. Come invest in the future that's gonna change the world.
What's up, EL2A family, man? Come invest in the futures that are gonna change the world. What you see here right now, man, we are reimagining education, right? We are giving these young boys and showing them who they are and where they're going. We're creating a school-to-career pipeline, and it's happening right here on this property, man. So let's go, EL2A fan. We're gonna have a QR code that pops up. You scan that code, all right? And it's gonna take you and tell you everything you need to know to come help us invest in the futures that's gonna change the world. Let's go.
Hey, again, man, we are showing kids who they are and where they're going, which is vitally important and got a lot to do with what we're going to talk about today. All right, I want y'all to stop right now, all right? Because I'm going to tell you, I'm really, really excited right now about this episode. It's going to be really short and it's going to be simple, but it's going to be impactful. I need y'all to pay attention. Something just happened yesterday, and I just need y'all to pay attention and take this game because it's going to be helpful. Before we get started, the Rocket, man, how you feeling today, man? 1 to 10, just talk to the people. All right,
I'm a 10, man. Hey, my little girl, Yuri, she turned 1 yesterday, so we still living in her birthday.
Yeah, happy belated birthday, Yuri.
Yes,
All right, a big birthday. But other than that, like, subscribe, and comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. It is really cool that you like, subscribe, and comment. It helps us push our platform further, and it's free. It costs you nothing to like, subscribe, and comment. All right, make sure y'all showing love. But to get into it, man, really, really quick. Like, listen to me. So just yesterday, over at Westport High School, talking to some young men. Everybody in the room were 11th and 12th grade. Through the conversation of talking to the young men, you know, my whole purpose of being there is about identity, showing them, helping them to figure out who they are, where they're going. I always say that, you guys, you can go back episodes after episodes, you'll hear me say that. In this room, we had 11th and 12th graders, and I knew what would happen. It happens every time. You ask them who they are. They would start talking about what they do, actually, football players, and they just talk about the things that they do, not who they are at the core. And through the whole time of me being there workshop, I did 2 different sessions. The same thing kept happening. And I kept thinking about, like, man, these are juniors and seniors in high school. That means they are coming into the next transition into the workforce, the people that will be leading our world. And after seeing this, there was one young man in particular, man, he was a senior. I think in this one session, he was the only senior. And I started talking to him about, you know, afterwards, he was a senior, so I pulled him to a side. I was like, before you leave, because I was asking him, like, what's your plan? He ain't have a plan. And I was like, all right, before you leave here today, let me get your information, because we got to have you playing. Like, you only got a couple months, dog, and it's game time for you. So after that, I got with him, and, man, the young brother started loading on me. Like, it's so funny. Well, I shouldn't say funny, but it's so crazy, like the wall that we have up. You see people, but you never know what they're going through. Man, that young brother got to me. He started talking about how he got kicked out of his house. He basically home, basically living with a friend. His grades low due to everything he's dealing with. His scholarship, he's a weightlifter, but his scholarship is on, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. It was just a lot that he was unloading on me. So after hearing him out, I was like, man, but so what's the plan? Like, where do you go? I understand that, like, everything you're going through, and I'm here for you. How can I help you? But what's the plan? And he was like, I really don't. Well, he was like, the plan is to get the grades up, and hopefully I can still get the scholarship that I'm supposed to have. And I was talking to the little brother. I was like, that's cool, and I hope you get your grades up too, but we can't really move off that hope. We got to set a plan for them. And through that conversation, man, it made me start thinking about myself, right? I thrive in a plan. And last time we were on here, we talked about execution. Mm-hmm. And I think execution is important. People need to know how to execute. You need to know how to don't make it happen. But having a plan makes execution that much better, much easier. When I have a plan and I know, okay, I need to come in and do this, I get it done. Execute, when I have to execute, I have to think too much. I'm going to get it done, but it takes a little time. When you have a plan, it makes things happen easier. It makes you work at a faster pace. It makes everything go smoother. So I want to talk to people about the plan, right? We talked about execution last time, but let's talk about the plan. Even going back to us, think about how we started, right? We really didn't know what this was. We cut different. We had the name, right? But we really didn't know what it was. But one thing we did, we sought out to build a plan. What's one of the first things we started doing when we I would let you guess, just keep it interesting. What are one of the first things we started doing? What do you think I'm thinking about? But we were trying to set a plan. What do you think?
The meetings we were having.
We started meeting, right? We started meeting with two. We were in the beginning of the cut different, orders of cut different. Eddie had a close friend, I had a close friend. We still got these friends, but we started meeting, right? We didn't know what this was, but we started weekly. We start setting a meeting to set the plan, right? To move forward, to help us be able to build this thing, how it was going. And we did a good job. We started putting stuff down, pen and paper. It didn't work out, but the stuff we talked about in those meetings, some of that stuff we actually did. Like we made a plan. But after that, it transitioned into a physical business plan, right? We had a document, a business plan that we first, like to this day, we can go back and see that business plan, see some of the things that we did to help us go. Even past that plan, individually, while Eddie was in Tallahassee, I had a plan on the ground. These are the certain people that I need to meet, right? This is what I need to do in order for us to get here. There was a plan. Like this one, again, God was in the midst. But you gotta have a plan. I think so many people, like, we live off the hope like this young man had, right? He has hope that something's going to happen, that he can bring his grades up, but hope alone doesn't align you to where you need to go, right? Hope alone is not going to align you to that purpose, right? You got to have a plan. And through that plan, obviously God is going to be in the midst, and he's going to help you. He's going to work, but that favor isn't going to be on you just sitting at the crib hoping, right? You had to put yourself in position to get the favor, right? So for us, we start doing stuff. I started going to certain rooms. For example, I always share the story of how we landed over here. I went to the meeting, right? I went to that meeting. I said I wanted to meet X amount of people. I had a connection in there. I got into this meeting, but again, the plan got me there. I got lucky that my mentor helped me to be in that spot, but the purpose and the plan that I was on the route of doing each and every day helped me get into that room. But I think so many of you out there, like, we're not setting a plan, right? We know what we want to do. That's just like when you have a vision, right? Like, people have vision, but a vision with no plan is just a dream, right? You just out there dreaming about things. You got to put a plan to it. That's when your vision come to life. But now you're waking up each and every day and you know what you need to do. And I think most of you out there, man, it's the plan. So even to you, Rocket, I kind of want to have that conversation. So thinking about to the beginning of Cut Different, the origin of Cut Different, right? What are some moments that you didn't even understand the plan? Because you was up in Tallahassee, right?
Yeah.
So think about being up there and not really understanding, like, yo, okay, I know I go home and we do this, but I knew sometimes you're like, what's this? Like, what's the plan? Like, how was that for you? How was it operating in that?
I mean, like you said, operate without a plan or knowing the vision. So I knew the plan, but the vision that you had for the organization at the time, and sometimes it was, for me, it was like, I feel like it was too much because I didn't understand what you seen when I was up there. So case in point, when we're doing I'll go to work, I get up, go to work probably get off around like 3, 4 o'clock, do 10, 12 hours, and then we get off, and then I get off, and then we'll do after school. So it's like, some days I'm like, bro, do we gotta do it today? Yeah, but not, you know what I'm saying, not understanding the vision for what, where we are now. Yeah. Then it was almost as if, to me at that point, not knowing the vision and the planning that you were doing here, what you were trying to, set up for us, it made it hard for me to really understand where it was that we needed to go or where we were gonna go. So again, at the beginning, it was just like some days it felt harder. It felt more on me than like, now you do it after school. Now it's like, hey, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We gonna do it. We'll meet with the boys, we're gonna have our session, and we're gonna be good. But then, like I say, working and I never understood the vision. Yeah. And I think by the time when I came back home and you actually been in it, and now we understand why the after school is so important during COVID. You know what I'm saying? We like, why would y'all be meeting on was it FaceTime? Not FaceTime.
Yeah, Zoom. Yeah.
Meeting on Zoom with the boys, and some people like, what was the purpose? But I mean, now we see the product of what we did, and again, it was the vision of what that you had, and then the planning in the process of. So yeah, I mean, I guess to answer your question, there were a lot of times when I didn't understand, when I didn't have your vision, and I think that's where for us both, I think that's where when we know the bigger picture for the whole org. So there are times where it doesn't make sense to everybody else, but for us, it's like, okay, but if we have the vision and we work this plan, it's going to get us to where we need to be.
Yeah. Now, the brother Nuri Muhammad, he said on the episode with Cam Newton, he was like, why power turns into willpower? And that's something that stuck with me. So if you think back to us being kids, how we was raised up, you ain't asked why, right? You did what I told you to do. But in this episode, he was saying why power turns into willpower, because when you understand the why, then that fuels you to do it. And the same thing, the plan is the why. Again, I'm in this room, I'm asking the same young man, and it was a simple slide. I did a black and white slide, right? Because I didn't want no gimmicks. I want you to pay attention to the words that's on this board. I asked them, what's your why? I started with who you are, then it said, what's your why? They can't tell you the why. Again, the why is embedded in that plan, right? When I know the why, then I can set the plan to help me be able to get to the why. You know what I mean? Because that's what fuels me. And I think so many times we miss that. I think back to even the athletic experience, right? Before athletic for a season, you have off season, right? You have fall camp. You have all these things to prepare you for 13 to 15 games during the year. Saturdays, right? But you spend year round for the setting a plan, right? You're preparing for teams that you haven't, but you may look at the film from last year, look at the players from last year, but you're setting a plan. Think about that much attention to detail to play a game. That's just a game that you can play and somebody wins, but it's not real life. But in our real life, in the real setting, we don't have that same intentionality to be able to sit down, set a plan like, okay, this is my life. Again, going back to these young men sitting in this, like, you are a senior. Like, in a couple months, brother, this is real life. You got to figure it out. But even past them, we got some adults. We got people watching this, right? You want to do something, but what is the plan? How do we go from here? And I think that's what we have to rewire. So can you think back sometimes of your time, like in your life, I guess, where you just...
Yeah, no, for sure. So it's crazy as you sit and talk about it now. You know, I'm really, so back to the episode that we had with us talking about the vision. What we were talking about, execution, I believe. Whatever. The last time, man, you were on, but it was, you know, I was talking about working I was talking about school, and not when Bobby would be in his suits, or you see the kids in SBI in their suits. They knew what they were working on. They had a vision for what they were doing while they were in their suits. So they were actually planning what was going to be their future. Again, I'm just a football player, not understanding what they got going on. So I'm thinking, man, y'all look corny, knowing the whole time, not realizing the whole time I'm the corny one, because I never had a plan of where I was going to go. So now I finished school. I don't go to college. I don't go to the NFL. I have a daughter, and now life hit. But again, I didn't know, nobody say, or I never knew what I wanted to go to school for. I didn't know what I was going to do after school. So now I just got to figure it out. Yeah. So now I come back home and working at Cohen Distributing, and I remember I was saying, you know, it was a blessing to get there, but for some time it was just like, I felt like I was just running in a maze, just doing the same thing over and over. And it hit me one day, it was like, bro, I can't do this no more. So the vision hit me at that time. Okay, while I'm there just wondering, you know, just doing a job, not knowing what my future is going to be, it finally hit me, okay, well, in order for me to progress in this company, I got to do X, Y, Z. So now the vision set into where, all right, if I want to become a department head, there's certain things that I got to do along the way. The vision was seeing the department head, but the planning was, okay, well, first is the warehouse, then it's merchandising, then it's delivery, and then now I make it to, you know, department head, which was cool. That aspect, I had that part, and I knew I was gonna get to that point. But then in that whole, I guess, life playing out, there was also a point where I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to get my master's. At this point, it was you, Ma, you two, y'all had y'all master's degrees. And in my mind, I'm like, dang, I want mine too, but how do I do it? I remember her telling me, like, well, you can do online classes. I don't want to do online classes because I know me. I need to be in front of the teacher. Yeah. So she was like, well, do UCF, or she was trying to get me to do all these other schools. And I'm like, somehow I know I got to get back to fam. Didn't know, but in my mind, it's like, I got to get the fam, even if it had to be online classes. I swear this played out. And then I'm like, all right, how do I do it? And then the opportunity came when I told Steve Beckwith. I told him, he was like, they needed help in Tallahassee. I said, I'll go. I was only thinking about the job at that time, but then when it hit, when I told him that day, the vision set in, then the plan, okay, I'm gonna go up there to go to work, but I could also get back in class. I could also get back in school. Yeah. So now I get back up there in 2017, I'm working, But then 2018, I get back in school and I get my master's in 2019.
Yeah.
So again, the vision was set out when I knew I wanted to get back to school. I just had to figure out what that plan was. And like you say, God was in the midst of the planning. I didn't know that he was going to come to me and say they need help in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to be working at Cone Distributing once I finished college with my bachelor's degree. But God was in the midst of it, so that the planning that he had for me, or in the midst of my planning, it was able to push me to ultimately reach the vision that I wanted. And I was able to get back to school, get my master's degree, and I mean, everything worked out. So the vision, the planning and the vision, all they play hand in hand.
Yeah. So answer me this: during that time when you had the plan set for all that to happen, of working towards all that, was it all easy? Right? Was it pieces of cream every day?
No. I mean, the part of going from the transition from Ocala to Tallahassee, I think I said it before on early podcasts. One of the biggest things I had to do was let Naya go. I had to let her go back home with her mom, and that was one of the biggest things that I prided myself on at that time. Being a dad, but I had to give something up in order to get something. But I knew giving her up or letting her go back, or the mom, I may have had to give that up. But ultimately, I knew I was going to get something on the back end where I was going to be able to get myself career, home, everything situated, foundation, to where I can get her back.
Yeah.
And
I think that we got to dive a little deep in that. So now think about that. So I want this to be a teaching moment for somebody. So you had a plan, right? In that plan, there was something that you had to do that you didn't want to do,
for sure.
but it was a part of the plan, right? It made the plan. But now on the other end of the plan, the thing that you had to give away, you got back. So talk to the people about that, because I think so many people are dealing with that. I think so many times, like, okay, the plan it's saying go left, but you like, well, I don't want to go that way, because if I go left, then I'm gonna lose my best friend can't go left with me, or if I go left, then you know what I mean. People are holding on to some things that can't go on the journey,
sure.
and it's hindering them. So talk more so about
that was just one of the biggest things. I mean, because even in the midst of the planning, having the vision of the vision never until having letting my daughter go back with her mom. But what it did have is I just knew there were certain things that was going to have to take place for me in order for me to be the best me that I could for her.
Mm-hmm.
And when in that moment of having when I'll never forget the conversation, it was so abrupt that even I remember honestly mom and dad, they were like, you doing what? they thought it was crazy. But again, that was a part of what the plan was in order for me to execute. And that's the thing. So a lot of times the plan that you have for yourself, other people not gonna understand that.
Yes, sir.
Other people not gonna understand that. And that's our mom and our dad, that I know they love they love us to life, but they never understood the plan that God had for me or for what I wanted for myself. And I think as a man, even a woman, but I mean as a man, there's certain things that we have to be willing to let go. We got to be willing to let go in order to gain. I mean, in so many words. So in that process, even though what I'm saying, because I had her since she was 2 years old, and now she's 5 years old. So 3 years later, and I'm talking about she got to go back. It wasn't something easy to deal with. So she's 6 hours away. And even through that whole transition, even though it was hard, now I got to figure out how, somebody that you see on a day-to-day basis, now you got to talk to her through a phone, through FaceTime, drive 6 hours, go to work at 4, get off at maybe 2, try to rush to get off, and then try to get down there, to where she's at in South Florida in order to see her in the same day. That was hard. But at the end of the day, it benefited her, it benefited me. I mean, and now, again, she's here now. So again, it's a lot that, we have to, and you said it perfect at the beginning. When you plan something out, if you plan it the right way, allow God to work in the midst of that plan. And I promise you, everything not going to make sense.
Yeah.
But it'll work out in your favor. So you got to believe that, he has your best interest at heart. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's why I can say the planning, having the vision of wanting to go back to school and even become a department man. Like I went from being in the warehouse to being a department manager. I mean, I know, Jai got friends right now that's working at the same place. And, to hear him talk about how his friends are stuck, bro, that's crazy. But I'm pretty sure he ain't got a plan.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't had that vision yet. You got to be able to plan it out, trust it, and work towards it.
Yeah. No, that's powerful. And that, as you're saying that, man, it got me thinking about so many times. So I guess we didn't have a plan. So even so within the plan, there's certain things that came about. I'm thinking about our gala right now, right? So if you think about the first year we did the gala, we got kids in here getting suits, getting tailored. We got people in the room. We got music playing. The night is going on. We still, it's a mess. We late getting started. Then the year after that, we late getting started. And we've been able to get a schedule of events for something like that and hit it to the point to where we had a schedule of events so down packed this year that I forgot I messed up the pants situation, but because we had a plan, none of that mattered. Nobody out there would have told, unless I would have put that video out and told everybody that happened, nobody would have known that happened, bro. The other time when we was in here, they knew something was going on back there. You get what I'm saying? You got everybody running back and forth. And during that night, I mean, I wasn't out there, but I'm pretty sure when y'all was out there, y'all was just walking cool, just chilling, like everything normal. But I'm back there with no pants on, you know what I mean? In this situation right here, it was, you could see it, you know what I mean?
And I mean, that's, again, like you said, with the plan, even with having that, man, that was crazy. Just because we did that within 2 weeks. So everything, we that wasn't a plan. We just acted. We reacted. What did we want? And then we waited. We tried to, I guess, we were being reactive to what we wanted and not being proactive.
For sure.
And I think that's what we learned along the way. And for others, that's something you got to realize. Okay, how has things worked out for you in these reactive moments? Like you haven't planned anything out. You hadn't been proactive where you did your research. Where you have people like I got a friend. He wanted to get a CDL. Bro, you ain't playing, you ain't study, you ain't playing this out the right way, and it didn't work out good for you. So you have people that they don't plan the way that they need to. They don't like do the full research on whatever it is that they're trying to get done, and that hurts them. That hinders them from being successful. That hinders the plan. That hinders the vision that they may have. They may have had a vision, but that plan in the middle, you missed that. So you're never going to reach this vision if you don't even work the middle part. So, man, it's just crazy. Like you say, that from that gala. From the first gala to the last gala, bro, it's complete different. You really have to be there to understand how flawless this one was in comparison to the very first one that we had. So
sure. Nah, man. So again, y'all, this is what it's about. It's about the plan, right? There's no need for us to carry this conversation. Even I need you to stop right now and get a plan for yourself, right? So what do you want to do? Who are you? Where you going? It always go back to that. And man, those two things, right? And I just like I said that one. I don't know how that came about. But anywho, the who I am and where I'm going, right? What's your plan? What's your game plan, right? Set your game plan. Find your why. I want y'all to remember this as well. Everybody talk about vision. Vision is a cliche thing to say. A vision without a plan is just a dream. All right. So you got to be able to set your plan to be able to set yourself free. You need to know down to the T what I need to do each and every day to be able to get to my goal, all right, to get to the plan. And again, why power turns into willpower. Wake up each and every day and understand your why. I think if we pay attention to youth, man, we can learn a lot more about this world, about ourselves as well. We all are kids. We have kids within ourselves, but we all, are searching for something. And I can see that in each one of those young boys' eyes as I looked in them. And I know you on the other side of this camera, it's that same thing, man. We all long for something. We're searching for something, but it's just the missing piece is how do I get there, or the plan that helps me get there. Set your plan. Some tips that I gave them during the sit down, I did the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is a key. All right, if you got a plan or whatever your goal is to reach, for example, first start with yourself, a SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Sit those things down. Obviously, the opportunities, those are the things that are in your corner to help you. The threats are the things you need to get away from you. That is a simple tool that you can use. The 4 pillars is a tool that I gave to them as well. So the pillars are the pillars you can set in your life. For example, mine is faith, family, fitness, and passion and purpose. So that's not the 4, but passion and purpose. So if you need to work within each one of those pillars, if you're not doing something and it doesn't align with any one of those, that means you're out of bounds. So you're in the wrong place. So again, set the plan, man. And we here to help you. Anything we can do different. All right, so you can hit us on the email, man. We here to help you set that plan. EL2A podcast@gmail.com. All right, I think that's right, man. But other than that, this is an alert. This is an awareness podcast, right? This is for you to say, man, what's my plan? If you don't understand that right now, right? If you saying, I don't know what my plan is, then we need to do something about that, right? There's so many tools out there. You got YouTube University, ChatGPT. You can literally go tell that thing right now what you want to do. And ChatGPT would set you a plan. It would give you the plan. It would tell you what you need to do each and every day. So there's really no excuses out there in that world. Again, I wanted to come back because we talked about execution, but you gotta be able to have a plan. The execution gonna be easy, all right? So man, EL2A family, man, I hope this podcast is helpful to you. I hope you lead this podcast. You go set a plan, man, and let's win. You know, we're in the fourth quarter too. I hope y'all know that we're in the fourth quarter of the year. This is the end, you know, and in our football terms, we throw up the fours right now. You got the fours up because that signifies this is it. There's no more coming back from this. I'm be talking about I'm gonna do it in the new year. Nah, this is it. This is it. The game is over after this, man. So make sure you're winning and you finish it strong, man. Rocket, you got anything for the people as you're closing out?
Nah, before you said the fourth quarter, man.
Fourth quarter, for sure. All right, man, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. All right, stop what you're doing, like, subscribe, and comment. It is free $99. I promise you it don't cost you anything to like, subscribe, and comment. We're going to put this on your radar. We're going to get the flyer made and throw it up on the podcast sooner or later. But we got December the 6th. We got our, what is it, about 6 a.m. Community Fun Day. Man, we're looking for teams. We got a kickball game, businesses, entrepreneurs, man. If you want to sponsor a team, we're looking for teams to come sign up. We're looking for vendors. We got all that information, man. We'll put all that up. We might do a commercial or something that we throw in here as well. But again, our 6th annual Community Fun Day on December the 6th, man. We hope y'all come out and show some love to that. And other than that, man, what else? Do we got anything else?
Nah.
Anything else, man, we'll let you know. Anything else, we'll let you know, man. Make sure y'all just stay blessed, man. Finish this year strong. Keep going up, man. And yeah, what they say, what my boy Toby Inigo say? He say, what he say? Try Jesus, but don't try me. I was just playing. All right, y'all, man. We'll see y'all next time.